is Sherry Doss, and coming to you live from R&B, Raise My Bar, without my partner in crime, because unfortunately he has some other things to tend to, but not without a great cause to talk about today. So again, Raise My Bar was born out of wanting to break down the proverbial walls as it relates to our brands and really come together, a group of hairdressers for hairdressers, helping you through this unusual and difficult time. And so far, we've come to you live on Mondays through this YouTube platform, as well as live on Instagram through Alfredo and my page. And we had a special guest that we wanted to bring to you today that can help navigate some of the more difficult things you're finding from a business perspective. And so without any further ado, I just wanted to welcome on with us today Steve Sleeper from the PBA, who's going to help us understand what the heck do we do right now and moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Sherry. Thanks for the intro. I'm glad to be here, and we appreciate the invite to help spread the news about what we're doing to help people.
Excellent. So, Steve, I think what would be interesting actually is that the PBA has gotten a lot of visibility through these times because you're doing a lot of great work to help those in the industry. I think prior to now, PBA was out there. There were signs at some of the trade shows, right? PBA, etc. But can you just explain to the viewers what is PBA and sort of what where do you have all of your tentacles? What actions do you do to support the industry?
Yeah, it's an excellent question because people often don't understand who the heck we are. So we are the Professional Beauty Association, and we are a nonprofit trade association. So we're a membership-based association. We are led by a volunteer board of directors and advisory councils, which are industry people who are elected to the roles, and they're the ones who set strategy and budget and overall direction for the organization. So we exist purely to serve the industry. I think that's one of the misconceptions, is that we're some kind of for-profit company. Nope, we're here to do everything we do to help support the industry. All the funds that we generate from shows and activities and sponsorships go right back into fueling and paying for the benefits and the information that we put together for members. So yeah, in a normal course, we do big trade shows. We do the ISSE show in Long Beach. We're the owners and producers of the North American Hairstyling Awards, NAHA, the Beacon program for students. Those are the things I think people tend to know us for. But we've got a lot of great benefits and information on business tools and education information on how to run your business and grow your career. One of the things I think is most important that always is kind of behind the scenes, and it's not really sexy, but is very appropriate given what's going on today, is our government affairs work, right? Us influencing policymakers and legislators at the federal and state level. Our focus has been, for the last few years, a lot on fighting deregulation and trying to help come up and recommend some common sense reform for licensing. So that's really critical. I've been working on some tax relief in Washington for a number of years, and now even more important, trying to engage there as well. And then one of the other things I think people miss is that we do have a big charitable arm, an actual nonprofit charity, the 501c3 type organization, where we do the Cut It Out program, which is a domestic violence recognition program for salon owners to help refer clients to resources. Our disaster relief fund, which we're going to talk some more about that, which was originally set up for about the last 50 years to help people with natural disasters, fires and floods and hurricanes and et cetera, et cetera. So we do a lot of things. Sometimes it's just almost too much and people just get confused, and I get it. We're not top of mind all the time, but we're hoping to get people more aware of what we're doing.
Yeah, I think great. Thank you for explaining. And I think that it's really valuable for the stylists and the salons, of course, to understand what you're doing. I also think that just as speaking as somebody who works for one of the brands on the global level, that it's super important to understand where you have your efforts and how we can get involved. Because while we are brands, it's no secret, I work with Redken, Matrix, and Biolage from a global perspective. The brand, my boss, is a hairdresser and has only ever worked in the industry. And I'm a hairdresser and have only ever worked in the industry, as was my mother and my sister. And I say all the time, I don't go to work for the paycheck, for the title. I go to work because I wrote a life's mission, which is to help hairdressers. And it's sounding like there is good opportunity for us to see how we can partner together to really make some of the changes that are going to help our industry, because we know that we need to come out of this different than when we went into it. And it's been a bit of an obsession of mine. I've had lots of conversations with Gordon Miller and just trying to figure out how we can make these changes. So I'm actually a little inspired and looking forward to how we can work together in the future. So let's talk, let's talk about the elephant in the room, so to speak, the Disaster Relief Fund, and specifically how that's helping in these unusual times.
Yeah, we've kind of done three, big things. And I think the one people are the most interested in, because it's sort of right in their face, is the COVID-19 Relief Fund. So what we did is we modeled, just like we'd done with our disaster relief fund, like I said, for decades, we decided to, hey, look, we need to streamline and put together a COVID-19 relief fund that will take many of the same things we've done on the disaster relief fund, from an application process to a funding side. So we put the fund together just shy of 3 weeks ago. We've had a tremendous amount of applications. We knew there would be a huge inbound number of applications coming in with people looking for aid. It's a $500 cash award. It's not going to rebuild a salon or help you for an entire year, but it's hopefully enough to help bridge the gap between other resources coming in, and hopefully when we're able to start to go back to work. And so we've been awarding $500 cash awards. Then people put their name into the application. It's really simple. It probably takes 5 minutes to fill out the application. Our website is the best place to go. We'll talk some more about that. And then we're drawing it via a lottery so that everyone has a chance to get an award. And we're doing it in rounds of funding. As funds accumulate, we're awarding those funds. And 100% of the funds that come in are going out. Well, there's no admin fee being taken off the top or anything like that. And so I think we're up to about 500 or 600 or 700 awards have gone out the door in less than about 2.5 weeks. The fund is right at about $1 million right now, is what we were generated to date, which is a lot of money. But when you look at the magnitude of the need, it just feels like, holy cow, we have to go further. We got to do more. So we're going to stay on this thing. We're going to keep raising money. We've kind of broadened the net. Obviously the L'Oreal group was incredibly generous, made a large contribution, and a lot of the brands they have stepped up, big and small. Even when their own budgets were being slashed and they were furloughing their own teams, they stepped up to the plate and made a contribution. Like I said, big or small, it all counts. But we've tried to widen the net now to get owners and stylists to realize, hey, you can send this to your friends, your family, your customers, who are many of them reaching out to us saying, hey, how do I help my beauty professional? Make a donation to the fund. It's going to go to a good place. We've already gotten some feedback from people who have had gotten their award, and these are the tearjerkers, right? People literally saying, you saved me from being evicted. You saved me from not being able to purchase groceries, this week. I'm glad that we can help. And, we were faced with that dilemma. How do you even address something of this magnitude? But we felt like we got to do something. And I think it's hopeful that people see the industry, rallying to support each other. And I think that's also a really powerful message. So.
Yeah, excellent. I think we talked for about 2 minutes before we went live here, and I said I'm going to try not to cry. I'm not doing very good on I said I'd try. I didn't.
Yeah. So well, you're hanging in there.
Thank you. So interesting, as you were speaking about the donation thing, I've been trying to communicate on my page just things that our stylists can do to communicate with their clients. And I do think what would be awesome is there somebody that could send a little template that the stylist could post, right? They could repost that's like, click here, and it's a link to be able to donate to the fund. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. We can get something to you. And then the easiest way in the interim is the website. They can post the website link. If people go to probeauty.org, that's where I've been sending everyone. Like the other part of this coin has been not only the relief fund, but the resources and information we've been putting together to help people find work their way through what the CARES Act means, what the PPP side means, what they're eligible for on the unemployment side. We've been doing a series of webinars to how to break down those financial packages and what do you need to do. And obviously it's a bit of a mess because every state's doing their unemployment slightly differently and the banks are administering the PPP loans. But we're sorting through it as best we can to help members. So there's a ton of resources there. The donate button is there. The application button is there so they can apply. And the other big thing we've done is we've offered up normally to be an individual member of PBA, a preferred member. It's $50 a year, which is still pretty affordable. We say we're going to waive the membership fee starting, I think, in March through the end of April. And we've had thousands of people join up to take advantage of the benefits. And there's some great benefits, stuff that's there all year round, even under normal circumstances. And one of them is a healthcare benefit. There's a telemedicine benefit alone that's worth joining, complimentary join, just sign up. There's video access to doctors and healthcare professionals. And there's also some counseling services for, folks who are feeling, hey, I'm isolated, I'm alone, I need someone to talk to, right? There's some great stuff. So probeauty.org is where you start to figure out what's going to be meaningful for you.
Right. Oh, amazing. So on probeauty.org, there is the opportunity to get tele doctors. yeah,
teledoctors, right? It's one of the benefits of being a paid member, which is paid is free right now. So don't miss the chance.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's fantastic. So outside of obviously the Disaster Relief Fund right now, is there anything from a business perspective or anything from a sort of getting back to business perspective that you would urge our viewers to do?
Yeah, so it's interesting because it's kind of gone in phases, right? First phase of this onset was, hey, not a lot was shut down. And so we had a lot of members and we were putting out information about, hey, how do you still successfully stay open? How do you create some more distancing? How do you do things different in your day-to-day salon to address was a growing concern at that point? And then when it went to shut down, it was like, all right, what are all the financial resources that are available? And it's almost like the third segment now is, even though we're not out of the woods, and I think everyone's clearly like we're still more to do before we start to open, but people need to start thinking about what it means to reopen. And so we've started a series of webinars. Those are available to you to rewatch as a paid member as well. There's a series of them. We did started on Friday, and a lot of it was focused on the sanitation and the health and safety issues. Other things will be coming starting on this Friday about other practical things you need to be doing to prepare to reopen. So just, it's good guidance. Everyone's situation is going to be slightly different, but this is a great place to start to think about, all right, that's a great idea. I never would have thought of that, right? These are things I can start preparing for while I've got some time on my hands to help get ready so I'm not caught flat-footed.
Yeah, exactly. And on the website, because I just want to keep going back and talking about the website because I think it's super important that people understand all of the resources that you have there. On the website, do you have ongoing, you've got this information that could be for anybody. So it could be for the independent stylist, it could be for the suite stylist, it could be for a salon owner. And is that differentiated in there or? Yeah,
there's different categories of info. And then obviously some of it will be applicable to all, right? Some of the aid packages are applicable to everyone. Obviously, if you're an independent, if you were an employee or you're independent, the unemployment stuff is kind of more specific for you, et cetera. But yeah, it's pretty clear cut. It's broken down. People just need to take some time. And there's a lot of it. We've done our best to organize and make it kind of logical so you can follow it. But my biggest thing, like people just get on there and start looking around because you might see something that you hadn't even thought you might need that will jog your memory about what you should be taking action on at this point in time. And at the end of the day, if you can't find something you need help, call us, email us, right? We're all working remotely, but we've been doing that for a while and we're good at it. So we've been able to take care of our members still, which is our biggest priority.
Oh, that's amazing. You're doing so much good work. I mean, you've been doing so much good work for the industry. And now I think it is time to sort of shine a light on that, as well as the work that you're doing to help hairdressers and salons get through this time right now. So thank you for doing all of that. Before I move off of this unusual time, I
Mm-hmm.
keep calling it my now reality, right? People are saying new reality, but I have this feeling that it's going to change so much that I'm just calling it my now reality. So anything else before I move off of the now reality?
No, I think, we talked a little bit, ahead of time too. And I think one of the things that for us at PBA, it's hard to build membership. And we know that it's important for the association to have strength in numbers, right? The more the folks that are connected to your mission, and for us, our mission is to elevate, unite, and serve the beauty industry. The better we are at what we do, right? It's sort of like the more people that are connected, the more effectiveness you have, especially in policy work, where you're trying to influence legislators or you're trying to advocate for something for the industry. You get taken more seriously when you have more people connected to what you do. So it's always an uphill battle to convince people, well, why do I want to join? What do I need to do this for, right? And sometimes we're just kind of coming out of left field too. So I get it. We're not top of mind. But I think if there's anything that, like you said, this now reality has proven in this sort of an ironic way, like this is why you have to be connected to your professional organization, because they're advocating, fighting, taking action, building resources for you. And, it goes back to the more you have connected, the better you can do this stuff. So maybe it's a bit of a wake up call to say, I can't afford not to be connected to what my industry is doing. And we're not the only group out there. There's other groups in your state or whatever, but I would encourage people to connect to something, your brand, your peers, your neighbors, whatever, right? Find that community that can help support you. Selfishly, I'd say, yeah, join PBA. It's a no-brainer.
Well,
this is the reason why.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer right now because you're offering it for free as well. And what an amazing gift. And in the grand scheme of things, it's less than $1 a week
Yeah.
for membership. And I think that what you therapists, and I am intrigued by I continue as often as I can, and I'll say it again now, is that our job is to maintain a connection with our clients. And so we need to be able to, we should be reaching out. I mean, we should be pretty busy doing FaceTime consultations with them.
Yeah.
We should be finding out what they're panicking about, to your point right now, and helping them through that. And we should also be finding out, doing a consultation now, because we don't know, right? We don't know if when we open back up like China did, they opened with very minimal. You could only do 30-minute appointments, and you still had to have social distancing. And so making sure we've got that appointment pre-consulted on, so we know exactly what we're going to do when the client shows up, will be helpful. And we're just there for them. It's exactly what you're saying, is that they sit in our chair and tell us more things than they probably tell their best friend or their spouse or what have you. And so, being there for them, they need us now more than ever, even outside of the hair thing, but simultaneously with the hair thing. I mean, I'm on calls like this that are all day long, starting from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. most days. And I'm like, here I go. I got to look good again. And my hair's growing. So I'm like, how do I blow dry this fringe now? And what do I do? And, there is an opportunity for them still to connect. So hopefully lockdown, they had a really robust client contact list, and they're able to stay connected. But those FaceTime appointments, I think, are super important, and I think our clients would appreciate them as well. So to your point, I was thinking that maybe there could be an additional category of like the best lockdown look, like who created the best lockdown look on their mannequin. Well,
yeah, the creativity, I mean, it is the silver lining again. You've got to find some humor in all this. You got to have some fun. I mean, obviously there's been some really serious technical education and work being presented digitally, but I love seeing the fun ones where people are just trying to blow off some steam. And it's again, like the creativity of the industry like never ceases to amaze me. Like, how in the world did you think of this? So again,
Well, I'll personally judge that one. If you add
yeah,
the lockdown
exactly.
look, I will judge. And so that's great. And then, is there anything else that you'd like to, because I know you're also very close to the industry as well. You have family that are hairdressers. So
Yeah.
any sort of, things that have come up across the dinner table over a glass of wine that
Oh, yeah.
have made you think, I wish other people would have this conversation as well. Anything you want to share with the stylists out there watching?
Yeah, my wife's a hairdresser. She is, is a commissioned employee of a great salon in Phoenix, Arizona, main attraction. And I've learned, I learned so much from her. Of course, I always think I've been in the industry a long time. You never stop learning, but you think you know things sometimes, and then she just hits me with the, okay. And I think the thing that stands out for me, Sherry, again, is just the profound relationships we have with our clients. And I know many of her clients have reached out to her to say, how are you doing? And vice versa. Some were like, hey, we're going to do social distancing, but I'll drive up to your mailbox and, I'll exchange some books and I'll give you a cake I baked because I was bored. Right. So it's encouraging to see people just wanting to take care of each other. And I think even what I hear from her, and she's obviously in connection with her peers and her colleagues, and people got to be resilient. I think it's the one thing. It can crush you when there's so much stuff happening. The advice has been to look, hang in there, be persistent on these aid things. They're super frustrating because these agencies aren't prepared to deal with the onslaught. We've been telling people, hey, look, you've got to be the squeaky wheel. You've got to hang in there. You got to be persistent. You got to apply. Even if the stuff doesn't look right, the field you're filling out the form, fill it out anyways and submit it. And then be persistent because they are trying to help. Mm-hmm. We've been in touch with some of the agencies. They're doing their very best, and they're being lenient when they actually get the information in front of them, right? They can't design their web forms and stuff fast enough. These are big agencies that they move slow in the best of times.
Yes.
So yeah, hang in there, be resilient, don't give up, stay hopeful. We will get through this together and we will reemerge, I think, stronger for it.
I absolutely agree. So thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm sure that the stylists that are watching and will come back and watch this will appreciate the information. One last time, everybody, please go to the PBA website. Spend your time there with a glass of wine or whatever you want to have as your favorite beverage, and make sure that you are gleaning all of the amazing resources and information that is on the website for you, not only during this time, but all year long, directly for you and with you in mind and to help you. So thank you very much, Steve. Have an amazing rest of your day and best wishes to your wife for me.
Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate it. And thank you to the entire L'Oreal PPD family and David for being so generous and supporting us and helping us spread the word too. So appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Safe.